auspicious occasion of the celebration tomorrow in Ayodhya, I think it is apt that we spend a few minutes remembering the significance of Lord Rama, the greatness of the personality whom we all are simply in awe with. So, as any object or subject of discussion can be taken from a devotional perspective or an intellectual perspective. So you either approach it devotionally, where the mere mention of Lord Rama, the mere mention of, or the mere association of the thought of Rama, your heart connects. There is such an affinity to that, the greatness which the great Saint Valmiki had picturized, had captured him to be as a, in fact, Valmiki paints a picture of Rama as an ideal human being, as a perfect human being, as a perfect human who played, he was perhaps portrayed as someone who was perfect in every role he played. So, if you look at it devotionally, when you sing a bhajan or a kirtan, you are able to relate to that feeling or devotion. But the intellectual thing has a greater and a deeper philosophical significance. Now, either way, the very thought of Lord Rama, he was a wisdom personified, no doubt about it. Now, in the character, every aspect of Rama was projected to a point of fault. So the perfection was projected to a point of, almost to a point of fault. So when critics, when they analyze the personality of Rama through the various roles Lord Rama played, they find a flaw, they find an imperfection in the personality. Because the way he was picturized is every role he played, it was personified as perfection. Now, just to mention a few roles, Rama was an embodiment of truth. He was an embodiment of morality. So, as a son, Lord Rama was a perfect son. Perhaps you can't get a better son than him. As a king, he was an ideal king. So he was a perfect son. He was an ideal king. He was a real friend. A true characteristics of his friendship comes out. He was a very devoted husband, rare. Very committed to Sita, very devoted. As you know, he went to great length to bring her back. The whole Ramayana is actually about the reunion between Rama and Sita. So he was a very devoted husband. He was such a real brother. He kept his relationship as a brother to his siblings. Extend the role, he was an ideal father. As a father, he was ideal to his children. Now, when you start comparing the roles of be it a son or a husband or a king, you find there are contradictions. And that's where critics find inconsistency in their character, in his character. Because what's happening? Inconsistency comes because there's a conflict between the role as a son and the role as a king. There's inconsistency between role of a king and role as a husband. And that's where the contradictions come in, where people question the wisdom of Lord Rama. But when you understand what was portrayed, so when you want to understand Lord Rama, you can't understand him as a totality. There will be imperfection as a totality. But to understand Lord Rama, you must take every role he played and see how perfection was created in each role that he played. Now, just take a few examples. The context when Dasharatha, his father. So, the concept of an ideal son is highlighted when the father tells his son to go to the forest. He dismisses him almost without a rhyme or a reason. Impulsively said, you pack your bags and leave. On the eve of coronation, the whole kingdom is looking forward because he was such a lovable character. Everybody loved, everybody wanted him to be the leader. And the day before the coronation, father comes and says, you please go to the forest. And as a son, he was an ideal son. He went to the forest just to appease an impulse of his father. Something impulsively the father committed, and then he got caught up in that. No, there is that unquestioning faith from the son to the father. So he's being portrayed as a ideal son. But what is the contradiction with there? He abandons his duty to become a king, but he had to uphold the rule of the father, law of the father. So he was an ideal son there. So you can't compare it to any other role there, because he played as ideal son. It will conflict with other roles.
It was a decision taken on the country level that he would be the king. So here the father is telling him to go, although the ministers and everybody decided that he would be the king. That is the contradiction.
Perfect. Another context of the story, there's a Ramayana. If you, I don't know, any one of you have read the whole Ramayana? You read whole Ramayana, sir? Then which Ramayana? That is all abridged version. The real original works is a text which runs into over 47,000 verses. The story itself. And then we are taking a little bit here and there, certain salient characters we are taking. But it's a voluminous text. Like Mahabharata is 100,000 verses. It's a voluminous text, the story itself. Now there is the context where Sita is sent off because, what's the story? Irresponsible prattle of a washerwoman. Washerman, huh? Washerman says something and he sends off his wife. He started doubting the purity of Sita. No, he sent off, no? Why did he send off? He had to justify the role of as a king. But as a husband, he had no doubt as such. But to appease the minds of the people, what will they talk? How will be loose talk? He didn't want any loose talk, no room for any loose talk. So there's a contradiction between as an ideal king vis-a-vis an ideal husband. But then he put in superhuman effort to bring back Sita. There is a contradiction there. Right. Huh? Mm. But he wanted to prove to everybody that there is no flaw in her character. And so he told her to pass through fire. See, as a king, he had to ensure that she is pure. Not that he didn't, he had suspicion. But if you have a doubt, please get it checked. So he told her to pass through fire. She passed through that. So he had to justify every act of his, because ultimately he did for the larger good. And again, a very important aspect where there's a contradiction of Lord Rama is Rama as a warrior. He hid behind a tree and shot Vali. That was against the law of warfare then, but he upheld the word as a true friend to Sugriva. Sugriva agreed to help him, provided you kill my brother Vali, who has usurped my wife and my kingdom. He said, I will kill him and give you back, provided you help get back Sita with the monkey forces. So he maintained that friendship. But to maintain the friendship, he violated the rule of warfare. At that point, you can't measure Rama as a warrior who broke the law of war. You must be looked at one who upheld the word Vachanam he gave to his friend Sugriva. See, there's so many aspects where you can be misunderstood. So, in fact, when you assess a person or when you try to measure a person, it is so important that you must think from the other person's perspective. It's so important. Rather than you looking me, imagine if you are trying to gauge me or come to an opinion of me, from which perspective, whose opinion is right? Each of you will have an opinion. You are taking one aspect of the personality and coming to a conclusion, or you're defining it. It is such a difficult task to come to a right assessment of what the person is. But in the context, you must take only that aspect of that quality and understand Lord Rama. Otherwise, the personality gets tarnished. These are just some references. Can you put that screen, Vaishnavi? The back? Mike, you simply can't talk.
One more thing, he went to fight Ravana, but he gave Ravana a chance to come back the next day because he was in a state of unpreparedness.
Yeah.
When he could have easily killed him, you see the weak point of the enemy and kill him as a Kshatriya, he gave a chance to Ravana to go back and you go today and come tomorrow, he said, when he was in a state of unpreparedness that day. That is height of, the goodness or whatever you may say. Contradicting his Kshatriya role.
Kshatriya Dharma. Correct. Yes, Setuji?
Hari Om Guruji.
Hari Om.
They also say this Vali has got
Today
a
call Jai
bone.
Shri Ram. Today we'll call Jai Shri Ram.
Yeah.
Jai Shri Ram.
Jai Shri Ram.
He's hesitantly saying Jai Shri Ram. We are so conditioned to use Hari Om, no? Chapan sir.
Vali has got a bone that he can kill anyone when he faces them. That Rama was aware also that if he faces straight one to one, he can kill him. That is also the reason he hid behind the tree. This I read. Yeah.
Yeah, since Vali, what does Vali symbolize? That's the story part, but what does Vali symbolize?
Sense object.
Adharmam. In fact, Vali symbolizes sense objects. Correct. What it symbolizes is, it symbolizes sense object.
Yeah.
Now, what is the point which Setuji is saying? That when you face a sense, Vali had a boon. You know, Vaishnavi, what boon Vali had? He had a boon that whoever comes to combat with him face to face, imagine we both are fighting. Physical combat, they were wrestlers, you know. So if we come to a single combat, the moment I come face to face, you will get half my strength, including your strength. And he was already a man of great valor. So a man of great strength plus half the opponent's strength, nobody could beat him. So to kill Vali, he hid behind a tree and shot. That's the story part. But what does Vali symbolize? Vali symbolizes sense objects. Now, what happens when you come face to face with a sense object?
Succumb.
We succumb to it.
Right.
Our buddhi nashat pranashyati. The senses overpower. The senses are overwhelmed by the sense stimuli. We fall a prey to the temptation. We lose control. Therefore, the first step. So what is Ramayana? Ramayana is the reunion between Sita and Rama. So what is the first step Rama had to do when you want to reunite with the Sita? Sita means the individual ego. Rama symbolizes the self. So the reunion of Sita with Rama is known as yoga. Yoga is where you are aspiring to get to the self. That effort to get to the self is yoga, is symbolized by Ramayana. And the first step for the reunion is, so the first step in the spiritual journey one has to do is to kill the Vali within. You must kill the greed and the lust within. That is when your spiritual journey begins. And that's what he did. He killed the demon. He killed the selfish, aggrandizing spirit, which is symbolized by Vali. That's when the spiritual journey began. And then whom he appointed? He appointed Sugriva. And what does Sugriva mean? Sugriva symbolizes one who had a mastery over his senses, a man of self-control, a man who was a man with a spirit of service and sacrifice. So you need to kill the Rajo and Tamo guna, and then you got to surrender to the Sattva guna to begin your spiritual quest. That's what it symbolizes. Then he collected all the monkey forces. What does the monkey forces symbolize? The mind and the innumerable thoughts. And then it must be given a single pointed thought to get to the self. Hanuman is what does Hanumanji symbolize? No, that is how people portray. No doubt, Lord Hanumanji had uncompromising bhakti or devotion to Lord Rama. But when did Hanuman come into the picture? He was instrumental for the introduction of Lord Rama and Sugriva. If you go literally by the story, But why is Hanumanji worshipped? Why do you worship a monkey? Haresh, do you know why do you worship a monkey?
No, Guruji.
Do you know that we worship a monkey in the
Yes,
form?
Guruji. Yes, Guruji, yes.
All right. Okay, can you tell me what is the nature of a monkey?
Nature of monkey is very naughty, fidgety, uh, inquisitive.
Very naughty, very fidgety, restless.
Restless, yes.
Monkey is compared to a fickle mind. So a monkey is compared to a human mind, my mind and your mind. So that's the nature of a monkey, the nature of the mind. So why do you worship a monkey then? So worshipping Lord Hanumanji is symbolic that one who has completely mastered his mind. So what was Hanuman? Hanuman was an ordinary monkey. But the moment he saw Rama, his mind got transfixed on Rama. He could not take his thought off Rama. So what happened? Hanumanji lost his nature. What was his nature? Monkey nature. He lost his nature. Why? His mind got transfixed to Rama. So monkey, how Hanumanji is worshipped because his only purpose was to serve Rama. His only purpose was transfixed. So he lost his nature. That's the reason we worship him. And many hundreds and maybe a few thousand verses later, Hanumanji meets Sita. And what did Hanumanji say when he saw Sita? There's a Tamil saying. Hanumanji said, "Yen kulattai enakku tandal," he said. En kulattai means my nature. En kulattai enakku tandal means I have regained my lost nature. Okay, what was his nature first? Fickle-minded. He lost his nature, which means he became transfixed. After seeing Sita, he got back his earlier nature, which is again he's become fickle. Why? Sita also was such a character to be worshipped. It was such a glorious personality. She was such a motherly nature. The moment Hanumanji saw, where he saw Sita in the Ashoka Vanam. When he saw, instantly he had to worship Sita Ma also. Now he has two people to worship, Rama and Sita. That's why he said, I've got back my nature of being fickle between two thoughts. Outstanding. So for an author, when an author is interpreting, to be able to connect one statement here, able to connect another statement there and find a philosophical message, in that sense, it's a huge text. It's a lifetime process if you want to start connecting all the various dots and threads and get the message. So Hanumanji also symbolizes, what does it symbolize? To understand Hanumanji, you must understand the thing that you see on the board. Can you put it on the board, please? So the first stage of, so if you want to start your spiritual journey in step 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the first step is Sita was with Lord Rama. Sita means the ego, Rama means the self, right? What is the message when Sita was with Lord Rama, be it in the Ayodhya palace or in the discomforts of the jungle? Comfort or discomfort, pleasure or no pleasure did not matter to her as long as she was with Rama. So what does it mean, sir? Rama can answer. Mike Petton, sir. Okay,
Suppose if you are focused on the self, if your ego, you overcome and focus on the self, then that is a starting point of your, I can't say starting point of your spiritual journey, but that is how you have to finally reach also. Maybe this
So it's the culminator.
is the culmination.
In fact, the ideal purpose of life is to find peace and happiness.
Right.
It has nothing to do with your material status, your physical status, your social status, isn't it?
Right.
So as long as your thoughts are on the self, you will find you are reveling in peace and bliss,
Right.
isn't it? So there is a saying by William Cooper. He says, they who truth and wisdom lead can gather honey in the poem Pineapple in the Bee, William Cooper says, they who truth and wisdom lead can gather honey from a weed, he says. Means if you live a life of truth and wisdom, if I am being truthful, if I am endowed with wisdom, doesn't matter what kind of a life you lead, you can find honey. So the highlight, he says, honey in a weed. Honey is not found in a weed. So what is the message there? If you lead a life of truth, integrity, and wisdom, irrespective of where you are, you will find the essence of life. What is the essence of life, Asha Junior? What is the very purpose of life?
Spiritual growth, moksha, eventually.
Is everybody, if you say spiritual growth and moksha, is every human being seeking spiritual growth and moksha?
No.
Now I'm asking, what is the fundamental purpose of every human action? What is the purpose everybody is living?
Happiness.
Is essence of happiness. Essence is happiness, isn't it? Can we
Yes.
not say the terminus of life is happiness? Now,
Yes.
but is everybody happy in their life?
No, not always.
Why not? What's the unhappiness?
Expectations, vasanas.
Expectations, vasanas. In fact, can we not say that the search for happiness is where there isn't?
Yes. We are looking outwards everywhere.
The search for happiness is invariably outward. But in
Yes.
quote, William Cooper says, if you lead a life of wisdom and truth, even in the most simplest of lives, in the most innocuous of life, you will be able to find that happiness. You will be able to find honey in the most insignificant weed. Weeds are going all over. You don't have to go into the deep into the bowels of the flower to gather honey. In the simplest of life, you don't have to be extraordinary to gain happiness. You'll find the very essence of life. You don't have to have name, fame, power, travel the world. You don't have to achieve anything to get to success. Even in the most insignificant things, you find success. You find happiness. That's what is symbolic. So this is symbolized. The ideal state, the first state where we all were, is where perhaps Sita was with Rama. Now, she got into trouble when she entertained the thought of the deer, the golden deer. Okay. Correct. Gamma, come out. Changing the philosophy itself. Who is everybody? Seturamanji. Second one should be corrected. Rajima. It is not Sita without Rama, sorrow. Ellame wrong, including Gayatri Ma. Sit here. You sit here 2 minutes. No need to mute anybody. Mute everybody. Don't need to say anything. Now, what is the message? The message is Sita was with Rama. But okay, let me to explain that and put this. First point is Sita with Rama thoughts on Rama, right? Second, everybody who felt there's something wrong with it, nothing wrong. Sita with Rama thoughts, where are thoughts? The golden deer. What does the golden deer symbolize? Huh? Golden deer symbolizes jewelry and saris. Huh? What is it? Huh? Illusion for you, not for Sita. You think it was illusion for Sita? It was not illusion for Sita. Huh?
It's the worldly sense objects.
What does what does the golden deer symbolize? See, golden means tempting or tantalizing, attractive. The deer symbolizes fleeting. Together they symbolize, Gayatri Ma? Together what do they symbolize?
All the objects are temporary and fleeting.
What does it symbolize? What does a golden deer symbolize?
Sense objects.
It symbolizes any joy that you derive from sense objects is tempting and tantalizing, tempting and fleeting, attractive. You fall a prey to anything that is golden. At the same time, you can't catch hold of a deer. But you think you get near it, runs away. So all worldly pleasures are like that. So when Sita was with Rama, her thoughts were not on Rama. Her thoughts were on the golden deer. Therefore, we said Sita with Rama, her thought of golden deer, she was in a state of sorrow. So nothing wrong. Sita with Rama, she was in bliss. Sita with Rama, thoughts on deer, she was in a state of what is sorrow? Shoka. Correct? Now the third, Sita away from Rama, thoughts on what state is she in? No.
Ashoka.
వాట్ అండి ఏం రాస్తున్నాడు అక్కడ వాట్ అంటున్నారు ఎక్కడున్నారు మీరు ఇది చదవండి
No,
సీత
I thought you said what?
What?
What's the
what Sita away from Rama thoughts on Rama where what is that state bliss అన్నారు ఎలా bliss is Sita with Rama and thoughts on Rama and you are divorcing them here.
Long as your thoughts are on Rama.
Hello.
Have bliss.
So please use the mic. Everybody should hear your comments. Rama's comments, everybody.
I'm saying that as long as your thoughts are on Rama, you are in a state of bliss.
Okay, what's the first point?
Sita with Rama, but thoughts on Rama.
Point Sita away from Rama.
Correct.
How can both be bliss with Rama, without Rama?
Because your thoughts are on Rama. No?
It has to be different. How can that be? Always in bliss. Sita away from Rama, but
No sorrow,
thoughts on
peace.
Rama. What is the state?
Peace.
No sorrow or peace. So what is that state she was when she was away from Rama, but she soon realized the folly of her actions. She quickly switched back her thoughts onto Rama. She was in a state of
Peace.
the highlight is in the word a. Shoka means she was not suffering anymore. She did not fall a prey to all the offerings of Ravana. Ravana offered to make her his princess, in fact. Said, you will be my prominent princess.
Queen.
Queen. You'll be my queen. I will give you all the wealth, all the comfort. She said, nothing doing. I'll not fall a prey. So when she was in that state where your thoughts are on Rama, she was in a very pitiable condition amidst Rakshasas. Then came whom? Who came? Then comes Hanuman. So what does Hanumanji symbolize here? So you are going through your related to spiritual journey, going through a spiritual journey with a lot of uncertainties. You are in no man's land, but you continue to show enormous faith in the path, in the teacher, in the teachings, in the sadhana. You keep putting it. Then comes Hanumanji into your life. So the question is, what is Hanumanji when you continue to show faith in the path?
Tells you that you are on the right path. He tells you that, if you read Sundarakanda, in Sundarakanda, half of Sundarakanda is Sita's dilemma. She doubts in between.
Correct.
Will I ever reach Rama? Will he be able to come? Is he alive? Is he not alive? All those thoughts are there in her mind.
The disturbing thoughts.
Disturbance is there.
Yes.
Only when Hanuman comes, he tells her that everything is fine. Rama is coming. We will come and we will take you. In fact, he says, you come with me, I will take you.
Correct. He offers.
He offers that. So for her, it is a reinforcement of her
faith.
Reassurance in the process. So even in a spiritual journey, in between you may get those thoughts that will I ever reach my destination? Is this a futile exercise I am doing? So Hanuman is someone who actually gives you that confidence that yes, you are on the right path, wait, continue the sadhana, you will reach the destination.
So if you
That is the way I was looking at it.
So Hanumanji is the assurance.
Assurance, yeah.
Assurance comes to you when you continue to strive, even though there are no results or no, when there are still doubts, you still hold on to the faith in the higher, you still hold on to the faith in the principles that you believe in, and you continue to strive. So you don't have to compromise your principles. You don't have to compromise your faith. You don't have to drop your guard. So I will continue to do what I believed in. So you will have to push yourself through the phase when nothing is working your way. The moment you start doubting yourself, that is the end of it. Sir, mic, what's up? On? Is it on?
She will ask Hanuman also whether Rama is planning to take her or not. At one stage, she had that doubt also.
That's
in
what.
desperation. She was so desperate that
She was so desperate, yeah. But the fact that she is in a state of Ashoka Vanam, that phase where she comes over that and then Hanumanji coming, is all a phase of assurance. I went through that phase in my life. I would say I went through that phase 29 years ago. When I left the ashram, I came to Hyderabad in 1995. I was going through a phase where I don't know, will I survive in this field? Because I found the whole world, nobody interested in what you're doing. Nobody wanted. Yet I came with young I was, with that fervor, I must teach this knowledge to the world. Nobody wants it. Nobody in the house wants. They're busy watching all the serials, movies, life going on normalcy. My friends, they are not interested. They say, hi Vinay, how are you? Where is it? What is it? Nobody interested. They hi, bye, they are gone. Nobody, where do I start my path? In fact, I don't think I ever said this, but Hanumanji for me was General Bhurti Garu. He gave me the assurance that yes, I want it from you. I will do it for you. He was my first student. I've never said this ever. Sad, he's no more. Just recently passed away. But he gave me the belief that yes, there's somebody out there who's interested in the sense you want to share your thoughts with somebody. Now, if you all wind up and say, bye-bye, sir, I'm happy. No problem. I don't mean, it's not a sign of arrogance. I'm saying how desperate you are for some support, which Sita was. She was desperate that she wanted assurance somebody is coming for her. So there is this phase where Sita went through. And then comes the fourth is, what's the fourth? Sita with Rama regain the lost bliss, which is a spiritual reunion. So the last is, come back to the first point, Sita. Now, Rajima, I want to ask you. Thanks, Gayatri Ma. Wow. Where are we now in these 4 points? Tell me a non-spiritual person where he is and a spiritual person where he is. Can Rajima be unmuted? Maybe she is not there at desk. Okay. Vasantama. The question is, where are the non-spiritual people? Where are the spiritual people?
I think 1, 3, and 4 are spiritual. 2
Huh?
is non-spiritual.
The not spiritual are there? 2.
Second, thoughts on the golden deer.
So thoughts of the golden deer are the materialistic people, the non-spiritual people who are getting into the world,
No
running
sense.
behind the world, right?
Yes.
And the spiritual people,
1, 3, and 4.
the evolved people are those established in wisdom. They are perhaps in the fourth state. They already attained union. They are the spiritually perfected souls.
Yes.
Where would a spiritual aspirant should be?
Third one.
We must try to find ourselves in the third place, where we are in the world, but yet we must try to think of the higher. We must entertain the thoughts of the self in the worldly transactions. So there's nothing in between 3 and 4. So you're either in the world, thinking of the world, or in the world, not thinking of the world. That's all. Isn't it, Vasantama?
3, you're thinking of the self, God, Rama, thoughts on.
So the 3 is you're thinking of Rama, right?
Yes.
Which is what a spiritual aspirant strives. In and through his daily activities, he thinks of the self, he thinks of the higher. And to the extent you think of the higher, there is no sorrow. So where there is sorrow, you must understand your thoughts are
Not on this.
not on the higher. Your thoughts are worldly. Which means, worldly means what? Your thoughts are developing a selfish stinge. You are developing, sorrow arises because of what? UK? Sorrow arises because of what? What's the cause of sorrow?
Sorrow.
Desires.
Because of desires, Guruji. You're running after temptations, desires.
What's the cause of sorrow? We said it is worldly.
Not, I mean, it's not the fulfillment of your what you want or what you.
You are talking of future desires. What about the fulfilled desires?
You're not satisfied with them. You're not happy with them.
See, the cause of sorrow is because of selfish attachment. When the thoughts are not on the higher, there is sorrow, right? That's
Yeah.
what we say. The moment thoughts are on the higher, when you're attached to the higher, what happens? You are relatively detached to the lower, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
If I am attached to the self, I'm detached to the world. But when my thoughts, if there is sorrow, I'm only deducting. We are only trying to give arguments to understand. If there is sorrow, it's because I am attached to the object of being.
Yes, yes.
So therefore the question was, what is the cause of sorrow? My attachment. What is attachment? Selfish relationship to the world.
With the word. Yes.
Expectation, selfish expectation. Selfish, or no, or no. All my only, my requirements, my thoughts, my needs. But the moment the thoughts are on the self, you are in the world. But the moment thoughts go to the higher, instantly there is no sorrow. Why? You are automatically detached to the lower.
Yeah.
Why? Because
Your thoughts are on this.
an
higher.
affinity to the higher. So how you can
Yeah.
logically from that given statement you can deduct. So therefore, how should I conduct my life? Total detachment. Be absolutely detached to everything that's happening around you. Let it happen. Try to make it happen whatever you can. If it doesn't happen, chalta hai.
Yeah.
Leave it. So the moment you hold on to it, there's sorrow. Shoka. So the question is, am I going through a phase of life where am I in shoka or am I in ashoka? That's all we can be. So many a time we are switching between point 2 and point 3. If you are a serious seeker, you will put an attempt to get out of shoka.
Yes.
అర్థమవుతుందా?
But it is a very difficult process, Guruji. Again and again, we are drawn into the world. So you have to keep on working on it, continuous.
See, this is the phase Hanumanji came, no?
Yeah, yeah.
So even when you are faltering, even when you are not succeeding, you must continue to strive.
Yes. Yes.
That's the, see, if you only such actions which you succeed can give you the result.
Yes.
But you have to strive so that the result comes. If you don't strive, how will you get the result?
Absolutely. Yes, yes, Guruji. That's true.
It's like I'm driving to reach a destination. Should I not continue to drive knowing that destination is very far away? I have to go 200 kilometers away. If I don't travel 200 kilometers, will I reach the destination? Is destination in sight 100 kilometers? You only travel 100 kilometers. Is destination in sight?
No.
Only board is in sight. Vijayawada, Bangalore, Singapore. Only signboard is there, but the destination is not near. But you have to continue to strive with the assurance that it will take me to the destination.
Yeah.
So even when results are not coming your way, even when they are not favorable, you continue to do your sadhana.
Okay.
That is when Hanuman comes.
Oh.
Gives you greater assurance to,
That you are on the right path and you continue.
yeah, don't need to doubt the effort. Continue the effort.
Yeah.
Okay.
Another is his goal and commitment also.
Where is that goal and commitment?
Hanuman, his goal is to reach Lanka. In between, many obstacles will come, but he's concentrating on his goal only. And he committed in the beginning, somehow I will reach Lanka and talk to Sita and come back.
Correct.
So those two.
No, they are in the spiritual path, in fact, is full of obstacles, full of temptations, full of distractions. Isn't it?
But Rama also only those one or two this thing, but we have to look at total personality as we call Sakala Guna Ramudu only, with all good qualities only.
Sakala? What is that?
About these two instances, as he has left his wife and she was pregnantly left off without any kindness. Like that, only one or two the people will criticize, like, but on the whole, when you take total personality, we call him Sakala Guna Sampannadu. He's rich with good qualities.
True. Absolutely. So the message that we learn from the study of Ramayana is how to constantly keep your thoughts on the higher. If we are able to consistently maintain the thoughts on the self, everything else will fall in its place. The problem is the thoughts get dislodged. आशा सीनियर कुछ बोलेंगे आप? हाँ? राम जी के बारे में कुछ आपको तो बोलना ही पड़ेगा.
सिर्फ इतना ही कहूंगी कि प्रभु श्री राम जी की कृपा बनी रहे.
वो तो जरूर है.
बस.
Every message of her will have that line. प्रभु राम जी की कृपा बनी रहे.
बनी रहे, बस.
बनी रहेगी.
प्रभु श्री राम जी की कृपा और आपका आशीर्वाद बना रहे.
नहीं, वो तो जरूर है. कुछ स्पेशल कहिए आज के स्पेशल दिन पे.
अभी ऐसे नहीं ध्यान आ रहा.
Sure. So So Hanumanji also is related to, compared to mumukshutva, that unflinching thought that will take you to the self. That unflinching, amongst the monkeys, Hanuman stood out, no? Hanuman, monkeys are thought. What are monkeys? Various thought forces. So many thoughts are running in the mind, isn't it? Of the monkey forces, one was Hanuman. So what was Hanuman? Hanuman represents the mumukshatva, that very strong desire that will take you to the self. So there are various interpretations of Hanumanji here. First interpretation we gave was, we said Hanumanji is worshipped because Vijaya. Absent. Forgot. Okay. Okay, I'll ask your friend. Bhavani garu. Unnara? మీరు కనబడలేదు. She must have gone into a shell. Immediately అనగానే she was afraid maybe. Annapurnama, I know you are very intently taking note. What is the first we spoke of Hanumanji?
Jai Shri Ram, Guruji.
Correct. Jai Shri Ram.
Hanuman, when Sita is in a state of sorrow, away from Rama, thinking about him only, like doing like a sadhana, he comes as a light of assurance for her liberation.
With the ring.
So,
First
with
one
the ring.
interpretation we gave was Hanumanji is the assurance that you get in your spiritual field. Like a little bird will come and chirp.
Yes.
You say, yes,
Yes,
this
Guru.
is the right path, this is the right thing, carry on.
Yes,
Every
Guruji.
sadhak, you should have had that experience. If you haven't had that experience, I don't know what to say.
Yes, Guruji, very much. I mean, in our own levels, whenever we are depressed, some say, I mean, to in our level of spirituality, we get some prasadam, some assurance from the as a signal from the divinity that I am with you. Go on like that.
True. Good, Ma. That is one thing. Before that, we mentioned of one aspect.
He is an embodiment of willpower.
He is also, we didn't talk of that, but he is a man of full of valor, strength.
Which is very much essential for to reach our goal. Like his goal was to find the whereabouts of Sita, and after finding Sita also, like the intellect that he plans so many things. He thinks about the safety of Sita, and he wants to meet Ravana also, and assess his power. And also next he thinks of even to doing some damage to whatever extent he can to Lanka. So all that intellectual thinking is also part, I mean, goes with Hanuman when you with his character.
True, true. I think there's so much to it we did not discuss, but of that we spoke briefly. One was, as you said, Hanumanji symbolizes assurance. Firstly, we said Hanumanji is worshipped because he is someone who had conquered his mind. The first point.
Oh,
Second is faith.
Yes.
The
Yes.
third is lastly,
Assurance.
no? What's the third thing? Thanks, Ma. No,
Thank
not Vala. Vala, Amma said. What's the third thing we said, sir, just now? గుర్తుందా ఇప్పుడే చెప్పినా ఒకటి Assurance, second we said. First we said of conquering the mind, second assurance, the third is no. Mumukshatva. Of the many thoughts in your mind, one thought is the desire to self, which takes you to the self. Similarly, of all the monkey forces, only Hanumanji could reach Sita and reunite. So other thought forces will come along when this monkey Hanuman went. So it is one thought of the self vis-a-vis all the thoughts of the world. Look at the potency of this one thought. One thought of getting to the self is strong enough. One transcendental desire replaces all the worldly desires. That's what is symbolized by the mumukshatva. There's so many aspects. Just thought to broach on some of them so that it kindles the thoughts. What so we can entertain. It is not just worshipping the idol of Lord Rama, though it has a significance, but it is to remember a thought, understand its philosophical significance, and live a life which the whole epic Ramayana conveys.